Be mindful of your background noise as it pertains to the class recording. Thanks again. I want to say welcome to Hand-Built Pottery and Sculpture. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Today is April the 2nd, 2021. We are recording, so be mindful of your background noise, but if you have to, if you want to unmute to ask any questions or make any suggestions, please feel free. So I've kneaded this clay a little bit to just get some of the moisture out. And it's about just a small size for your hand. I'm gonna go ahead and roll that out to make the garden stone. Today we are making a art garden stone, and the image that I'm going to make on it is going to be a dragonfly. I was just going to see if I could incorporate any of this other clay, but I just don't think so. It's really, really wet. So let's get started. So I'm kind of just beating this clay a little bit round. I'm going to bring my camera closer. I'm going to roll it down to the thickness that I think it'll sit nice on the ground, in the garden, or wherever I want to place it in the garden, actually. This is springtime, so that's why I came up with doing this neat little project. Just opening up my clay, giving myself a good surface area to work on. So y'all know today is peanut butter and jelly day. Maybe you want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or some crackers. Last night I was with my sister and I was telling her I was going to make something really small today. I was going to make a saltine cracker with a piece of cheese on it. She was like, don't make that. Well, I was like, why not? So she's the one who actually encouraged me to make the garden stone. All right, even though my clay is small, I think this is gonna be the thinnest that I'm gonna actually do this piece of clay. I want it to have some type of stability, being that it may go outside. And I always keep a wet washcloth around so that I can wet my clean my hands, especially all the things I'm touching, like my camera and everything. And so the next thing I want to do, and once again, you know, actually the garden stones, let me just say something right quick. The garden stones that you see out in people's gardens, the actual size that I really meant to make was the size that your foot could actually stand on top of, like the actual stones that are placed for you to walk through a garden, so to speak, or a certain area where you wouldn't touch the grass or the flowers. So they have stones placed about. But I wanted it to be like the surface area where your foot could stand on it. But since I don't have any clay and we're just doing a demo for class, I am using the amount of clay that I have. And for your purposes, don't forget that you can make a garden stone of your own that your foot would be able to stand on top of, or just any size that you would like. That's the purpose that I'm really even taking time to say that to you. All right. So we're back to the project. Fixing my camera so you can see. I'm trying to get the best angle, but still be able to work here. All right. So the first thing what I want to do is get my needle tool. And I'm going to use this tool here that I actually got from like a Goodwill or some type of bargain store. Yeah, like a Goodwill or a thrift store, sorry. And so I don't even know what it is, but I use it from time to time. So the first thing I want to do is cut the shape out that I envision. And it's gonna be, I don't want to cut first, I'm actually gonna draw it out. And I think I'm gonna go here. So, you know, also you can look online for some garden stones or art garden stones, and you'll see plenty of beautiful examples. And actually, you can be creative and be innovative and take risks as it pertains to uh, what you want to do as far as your design. But the actual plate of it, you can be creative and do your own thing, or you can use all sorts of things like octagons and hearts and whatever you envision. So I'm just drawing out my design. Although I'm cutting clay out, so to speak, I know that I'm going to need to reconstitute that clay and use it, being that I didn't have a lot to begin with anyway. So I think I'm gonna open that up a bit and come right here and come around here. So this is the beginning of my shape. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And I'm going to reconstitute the excess clay to be able to create what I'm trying to produce. So I have just a few little pieces to work with, which is good. All right, so I have one little line. Remember I said I like to draw the image out first instead of cutting so that I can get it the precision how I want it. And so you can imagine if this was like a large plate that your foot could stand on. However, this is the beginning of my creation, and I'm gonna just keep going. All right, so right now I'm reconstituting this clay. I'm gonna roll it out to get the complete shape what I want. This is a little shy, but it's all right. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm just pressing, I'm gonna pick that up just to make sure it's not stuck to the canvas and kind of just roll this out again to get my pieces together. What I'm trying to do is elongate my wings a little bit more. I think that's good. And so just gonna cut this in 4 pieces because I know I need. All right. So what I'm doing is attaching this here to make a longer wing. That looks really good. I'm gonna spray a little water and add that to that piece. And the same thing to the other pieces. That's what I'm about to do. Adding a piece to the other side. Needs to be a little bit longer. All right, so what I'm going to do is get my fan tool, put all that together. I'll come back and smooth it once I finish my other two wings. That looks good. Going to my other two. All right, that's good. I'm going to scratch the clay or manipulate it until.
Kim, this is a dragonfly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You'll see.
Well, you know, the bottom wings are a little shorter than the top wings.
Yeah, mine is shorter.
Okay.
Thanks, dragonfly lady.
That's Deborah Bell.
I know you're an expert on dragonflies.
Not quite.
You've been studying up on them. All right, so what I'm going to do is just take my spatula and wet it a bit and smooth out those wings. Pushing it in on the sides, bringing it all in. Same thing on each side. All right. Push these top wings in as well. Even though they look smooth, I want to make sure that everything is tight. And one thing I should do is also pull this up before I smooth out the front side too much. Period, and make sure the back is smooth. That way, yeah, I don't want to smooth the front side too much so I don't have to flip this back over and mess up the smoothness on my front side. But go ahead and turn to the back and make sure all of that is really smooth and put together well too, so that you won't have any breakage in the kiln from some air pocket or bubble, and then the heat gets in there and makes it burst or something. So, all right, the back is done. I'm going to go ahead and spray that. It looks like it's going to be a skull and bones or something so far. But as soon as I smooth this, pretty much the project will be over. And I'm thinking about putting some of those stones in the piece for light and design and decoration. Smoothing with my sponge around the edge and on the surface part, the top. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up my canvas to pick the clay up so that I don't dig my fingers into the clay, so to speak. Next, I'm going to smooth the front side. Need a little bit more moisture. Gonna go around my edges one more time, chiseling up those edges, making sure they're neat and straight. With my spatula, always making sure to take off the excess. Now, even though my garden stone, art garden stone is small, there's still a lot I can do with it. I could sit it in the ground, the grass, as a decorative plate. I could sit a small pot on it if I wanted to. I could hang it, you know, so many things you can do with it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and smooth that. And I need to smooth with my finger as well to press any lumps out. Sometimes the sponge is really good to do smoothing as it pertains to your last smoothing because it smooths so fine. But yeah, being that it smooths over fine, you need to, if you have any lumps or imperfections, scratches, you need to take your time and smooth that with your fingers. Make sure it's all the way out. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean my hands with my wet washcloth. And I'm going to draw my lines back where they need to be. Right now, I'm just probably going to finish with the design aesthetic. It'll all be done. Okay. All right. So first thing what I'm going to do is use this tool to make the design I want to all around. Top, bottom, sides, the top and bottom sides. Just want this gradient here. Then I'm going to do the top as well. Just a little bit there. And I'm going to do a little bit here. So after that, I'm going to draw two circles that are going to represent eyeballs. So here I'm going to take my tool, making like the top of a head, and from here I'm going to fashion two giant eyeballs out. I'm kind of like sketching it so that I can get the circles kind of the same. It's not that easy drawing circles, making them look perfect and that type of thing, but you can do it if you take your time.
That's right.
So right now I'm going to go around the eyes a little bit more detailed so that they can come out. And even while I'm talking to you, actually doing this, I'm thinking about going ahead and scraping the lines out to make them deeper and thicker. And so I did the top of the head and the eyes, and I'm going to do the bottom of the head of the dragonfly. And then I'm going to do, I don't like that side of the face. I need to bring it in just a bit. Then I'm going to fashion the body. And how I'm going to get my shape right is make a line down the center like that. And make each side, left and right. First, I'm going to make kind of like a small frown or hump here. And then complete my two sides. They're going to be rounded out here and making sure they come out from the head. Come around on that side. And you see, I'm not rushing. I'm just going really slow so that I can probably try to do it in one time instead of having to keep erasing, keep erasing. So the next thing is I'm going to make the segments of the body. And since I have this extra piece of clay, I want to go ahead and make the bottom segment of the body, which I know is going to be some little rounded piece. So let me go ahead and attach that. Okay, I need a little water. Just smoothing that in. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. It's gonna be like a bulb, so to speak. All right, so I just wanted to add that little part on the end. I realized it would make the tail look longer, or the body. And let me just make sure to flash that in and push it in, making sure it's tight. All right, moving right along. So we're gonna have the first part of the body coming from this hump. And what I'm going to do is make the bottom portion, I guess, first, so that I'll know how wide I want it to be. And then I'm gonna come around and go ahead and make the sides rounded like a bubble. And I'm gonna continue to go descend down, making the same shapes all the way down, but getting smaller and smaller. So what I'm going to do is draw horizontal lines going all the way down with the spacing, or the, spaced apart and I'm just kind of like freehanding it, eyeballing it. Continue to go down, making those lines from right to left smaller and smaller as I get down. All right, so now I'm just gonna go back and go on the outsides, round it. I think I'm gonna do this whole side first before I go to the other side. Round it out like a half circle or a C. And then I'm gonna do, I'm cleaning my tool, going to the other side, right side, round it out. Could be the left side if you're the dragonfly, the right side if you're just looking from the front view. Then I think I'm gonna make one more and have my bulb, or the end of the tip of the tail or body, at the bottom. I'm gonna just cut that off so that it will fit with the bottom and it will stand out. All right, so that's how that looks. And now we're going to complete the drawing of the wings by drawing, trying to get rid of this line here. I just need to smooth that one time, dry it up. I'm going to go around that one more time, bringing everything all in neat. Same thing for the other side. Smooth that edge. Make sure to keep your piece smooth and neat as you go along. And next I'm going to draw a line that will go centered down this thing that looks like a heart, so to speak. So I'm going to start on this end and go straight across like that. Same thing, I'm going to start on this end and come straight across like that. Then I'm going to sort of make like a teardrop from each side, like so, joining this corner here, wherever it matches up there. Same thing right here. I want to find the corner. I can lay even my tool right there to measure how the line is supposed to look. Right there. Same thing at the top. I'm starting here at this corner, coming out, just like that. Same thing here, I'm in the corner, measuring out, using the line of my tool as well to make a imaginary line in my mind. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean out those corners to make the wing look more rounded on each part. Here, it was just a little bit of clay. I'm putting all that clay together in case I need it. I think one thing that will be neat is to go ahead and roll a ball, a really small ball. I'm even taking the clay off the corner of my cup to reconstitute that. So I'm going to roll a really small ball. Well, not really small, sorry. I'm going to roll the ball the size that I think the eyes of the dragonfly is. Then I'm going to score with this tool, any type of knife, so to speak, around the ball. Just score around it to try to get it even, making sure the two halves look even to your eye. Go ahead and cut through them. Make sure it looks rounded in your finger. And scratch both of the surfaces where the eyes are. Add some slip. You should have your slip jar around. You can see I'm adding a little slip, which is clay and water.
You can't see the picture anymore.
I know. So I will clay and water, glue, and then I'm going to place, when I just hovered the ball, the half circle over the eye, it was a little bit small. So what I did was I'm sitting it down on the canvas to press it out just a bit, and now it fits better. So I'm doing the same thing to the other side, making sure it's rounded, placing it down. Needs to be a little bit larger, just a little bit. Pressing it flat to make the surface expand out a little. Placing the eyes down. And I like them raised like that. It makes them bulge better. And so what I'm going to do, I only have one more thing to do, is to basically, first I'm going to go ahead and put this design in these areas. I didn't want to do too much to go over my smooth area where I was doing my dragonfly, but I felt like I could go back to go as close as I could once I finished my dragonfly. So I'm just carefully going as close to the wings line as I can. Going to the top, making this background surface where actually the reason why I use this tool is to make it kind of look more coarse or rough or rustic like a stone. And so I got one more side. I think I can get a little closer right there. All right, here. Ah, I just hit my eyeball. I really, really damaged it. So let me take that up and fix it. And since it's up, let me go ahead and put this design closer right there. I don't have to make that mistake again. All right, so just takes a moment. I need a little water to smooth it. I poked my eye really hard, the dragonfly's eye, not my eye. All right, it's back there. It only takes a second. So if you feel like something doesn't look right in your work, go ahead and fix it. It doesn't take that much time. All right, so I'm just smoothing any imperfections that I did to the wings when I just put that design in the background of the stone. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit, bringing it a little neat and close. And now I'm going to finish off the wings by drawing the design in the wings that I feel is needed and not necessarily filled. If you look up a dragonfly, you'll be able to see the design if that's what you decide to do. But there are so many things you can do for a garden as it pertains to what's out in nature, like ladybugs, butterflies, birds, chipmunks, squirrels, all sorts of insects. So I think I'm going to use my fan tool to make the lines. I could have made them individual. And actually what I do think I want to do is make one line individually in the center of each wing. So I'm really going in the center of each wing, and then I'm going to use my textured feather tool or fan tool and go on the both sides, sort of coming down like so. So that left a lot of little trash on the piece. Every time I scratch, I should clean my tool. So I'm scratching down, cleaning the tool, scratching down, cleaning the tool, scratching down one time, cleaning the tool, scratch, clean the tool. I'm going on the opposite side of the thick line that I did in the center of the wing, and just use the scratch tool because it actually helped me to make more lines quicker. And I'm gonna go back and go down my center line to make it pronounced.
That's a lot easier than what I be doing.
And this is my, so once again, you know I always say clean up, especially if I'm gonna present to the end. I'm putting all my tools in my cup of water except for this because it rests. It's never supposed to really get wet. My sponge, my clay, reconstituting that, and I'm moving the water out of the way so as to not make a mistake and knock that over. I'm gonna, instead of digging my fingers in the side of this, I'm gonna pick up the canvas and release the canvas from the piece gently, putting my hand up under it, holding my canvas. Always have some newspaper, sitting my piece there, making sure it's flat. I can pick this up and kind of just slam it down one time as well. And
that's beautiful, Kim. Beautiful.
Thank you. This is,
I love it. I wasn't sure where you were going with that at first. I was like,
Oh, I'm glad you're in class, Deborah.
here, I just,
Yeah. So you
Just,
won't be wanting mine when I show it off.
I just wanted for a present.
So I just want to include one more thing. I said that I may scoop out some of the dragonfly to be deeper. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take 5 minutes to do that. It's just my vision. I'm gonna use this scoop tool right here. You know, it's usually on a tool that has 2 ends, and sometimes they have different ends. This has a blade and this has like a curved tip. This one has a longer blade. See, those are different. So it doesn't matter, I'm using the one that kind of is curved.
Don't mess it up.
Oh my goodness, how could I mess up anything? There is no messing up in art. So what I'm gonna do is first, I guess I'm gonna go left to right. So to me, I don't have to press my arm back this way. You know, everybody have their own techniques as to how they wanna do certain stuff. I'm just gonna go through there and scrape that one line out. I'm gonna go through the outside of the wings. And as I'm scraping, I'm using the same pressure so as not to go too deep. I'm actually still too retaining some more clay that I can use for another project. So I'm going to the center of the wings, scraping it out. You see it's just a little bit. I don't want to scrape too much out, but I do want my impressions to be a little thicker. I'm going to the other side, so I scrape the outside of the 2 wings out. I'm going to start at the top.
I can't tell what you did. I can't see that. I don't know what you did.
I went to the top line. I use this tool, and as you can see right now, I'm scraping it out. I have to brace my hand down so that I don't press too hard in any particular area and go down too far. You know, you gotta feel the clay and make sure you're doing it the same level, so to speak. After I finish this, I'll be glad to show you how it's looking.
You're just making deeper impressions in the lines.
I'm making a deeper impression in certain parts so the dragonfly can really stand out from the stone. So I also want to go down the entire tail of the piece. I'm gonna show it again to you. You see how those look deeper?
Yes.
Now, if you can imagine the body right now, but see it when I finish. I'm only going on the outsides of the body. But each time I go around one curve, as you can see, you see a hunk of clay right here. I'm going to pick that clay up so that it doesn't drag everywhere and mess up the design of my piece. Because somebody told me don't mess up or mess it up. So I'm going down each outside curve and picking up the clay each time. It's only little particles because you don't want to dig too deep. Just kind of start out slow at a low level to see how it looks. And if you feel like you can go a little deeper, then go ahead, but don't go down to the base or the bottom surface of the piece. I'll show you this side before I do the next side so that you can compare to see the deepness of the line, to see why I did that, or to give it a deeper impression to make it stand out, or see if you like the skinnier line. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is the side that's deeper.
Yes.
And this is the side that's not. So let me just go ahead and finish those lines quick. If my hand is in the way, it's okay. I just want to do the work right and show you what I've done. I'm just scratching down the outside of the other side of the dragonfly. And as you can see, I'm picking this clay up each time, cleaning it off of the tool. each time. Every time I scrape. When your tools are clean, you can get good clean scratches, marks, or whatever you're trying to do. I'm going on the outside of the inside of the body. Then the top, I'm turning it all the way around so I don't have to work so far. Like sometimes I ask you all, why are you working across the street? Turn the piece as needed so that things can be closer to you. And then I'm definitely going on the outside of the head of the dragonfly.
You trying to show us your shoes?
Nah.
It almost looks 3D.
The eyes are 3D.
Yeah, but once you made the deeper impressions, it almost like raises it.
Okay. So when I let the light up too, you can kind of see the gradient of the background, what I tried to make look more like stone.
Kim, when you first drew that out, I couldn't imagine. But I kept my mouth shut because I knew it was
did
coming
too.
to something.
I did too.
I
I
did
had
too.
no idea what was happening.
It looked like a face. I said, how is a dragonfly
It's
going
like
to be
the
a face?
skull with the bones, like the skull, then the bones gonna be at the top of the head. So my last thing as a designer, as a artist, I want to use a tool that I saw earlier. And first of all, I'm gonna take this star and use it for some reason. But I want to take one of these tools, which is gonna be this tool here, even though it's plastic. A lot of people have seen this edge or this design in like wooden tools. But first I'm going to roll this clay, this little piece of clay that I just dug all the clay. You see, this is the amount that I actually dug everything out of that piece. It's not a lot. And I just need to use that surface to practice to see what this design is gonna look like. No, that's not acceptable. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm definitely gonna use this star. This end has some kind of edge that goes around like so. And it probably looks really neat in a deep piece of clay, but this edge has a star. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use that and press up in the corner of my piece. Don't be getting mad now. And I'm going to use this edge to do something quick in my eyes. Just kind of rolling it back and forth.
It's cold in here. Why is it so cold in here? Oh.
Just putting a design in these eyes. And that's it for today.
That is beautiful.
Benefits and impacts of the American Rescue Plan are temporary by design. It is a rescue plan. But as we get the economy back on its feet,
I missed it.
going back better.
Kim, zoom in again. I had to get up.
Not just for a while.
Who is that with that TV on? All right, be mindful of your noise, please.
Zoom in again. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm missing the stars you put in there. I can't see
I only
them.
put one
I see.
star.
Okay.
Only put 1 star. It's-
And Kim,
May I share?
you
May I
suggested
share
that be
something?
for like a trivet or something? Is that what you suggest? Because with the eyeballs, it kind of makes it hard to be a trivet. Um,
No, I
so
didn't say it's a trivet. I
what
wrote
did you say these were for?
it in the chat what it was. I said,
Oh, let me see.
okay. I said that,
See anything in the chat?
hold on, it's no problem. I think what happened was I started my class without starting the video. And so I'm typing it right now once again because I want it to be saved in my chat. This is an art garden stone, and the image is a dragonfly.
Oh, it's a garden stone. Okay.
So what I was saying was, I said it's pretty cool due to the fact of, I said it's pretty cool due to the fact of, I had such a small piece of clay, it was fitting in the size of my hand. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
It's cold in here.
I said that the clay was fitting in the size of my hand because that's all the clay that I had today. But even still, I was saying that that was a great thing due to the fact that I'm just doing a demo for class. It'll be shorter time. And if I had a larger piece of clay, Miss Deverville and everybody else, I would have made it larger for it to be like a stepping stone in your garden. You know, like sometimes you see the stones. So I said, if you want to look up online, Google it or Yahoo it, you know, any search engine, you can look up art garden stones and you'll see some beautiful ones out there.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
would
but
be,
I wanted it to be as large as where your foot could step on it, so you can have about, I mean, I
but
don't
you
know.
wouldn't step on that. It wouldn't be strong enough. It would crack right in half if you stepped on
Not
it.
this. I'm saying if I had enough clay. I only had a small piece of clay, but I still
I
made it.
can't even imagine would it even being thicker that you'd step on a ceramic like that. Concrete, I've got a stepping stone concrete thing, but not that.
I
I'd
think
be
you could.
afraid.
I think you could if you actually made it thick enough and it's like if it's larger than your foot, because I've seen some online. If you look up some clay step garden, look up clay's garden stepping stones. They make them so you can. I just had to make a smaller replica of it because I didn't have enough clay.
Kim,
I would like to act like I'm sitting in class next to Deborah and tell her if the teacher said it's so, then you need to listen.
So there we would be in one of our conflicts over there.
Kim, I have one called Welcome to My Garden. It's a stepping stone. Right at my she shed is leaning up against the wall though. I have real other commercial stepping stones, but I never step on it.
Okay. But even though still we are in a teacher-students situation, you all are so smart and have a wealth of information and education and experience and wisdom that I don't know everything. So
Oh, Kimberlie, okay, since you said that,
correct me all the time. Go ahead.
I would like to share that once my words was put into my Black History piece, it left the edges kind of jagged, and I know we use sanding paper in class, but I took a piece of sanding paper that attaches to my drill, and I went over. You have to make sure you don't go too deep or you'll wipe out the words, but I went across the whole thing, and it came out real smooth. But it's that real coarse, heavy duty sanding paper.
In my mind, why you never used the sandpaper in class? Because you didn't feel like getting up to get it.
No.
Nobody brought it to her, Kim.
It just never did the job for me, really.
Okay.
As far as all those indentations where you're writing words and stuff.
And you like
In
to,
theory, did you use your drill with the sandpaper or did you do it by hand?
I just did it manually.
Okay.
But you have to make sure you don't go scrub too hard because it will wipe out the impressions.
even though I still want to discuss with you all, let me, end my class. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the dragonfly demo today.
I did. I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
forward to getting it
That
for
we
my
did.
birthday present.
And
That's next
I
year.
want you all to
This year.
wonderful and blessed day. Thank you so much for joining Hand-Built Pottery. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Peace and love.
Oh, that's